All right. Good evening, and you're welcome to another edition of Import Export Platform Facebook Live from 3 Timpers Trade Academy. And my name is Dele Ayimibo. We continue our conversation this evening on the what, the why, the how. The what, the why, the how to export. The what, the why, the how to export to Nigeria. The what, the why, the how to export to Nigeria. The what, the why, the how to export to Nigeria. We'll be discussing basically how to do importation in Nigeria. Basically, that's what we've been discussing. And we've been doing that for a while now. And the objective of the program basically is to help individuals who want to have access to the Nigerian market to be able to understand exactly what they need to do. What does the regulation require? What do you need to do to be able to ensure that at the end of the day you have this opportunity and have this access to the Nigerian market? We are very much interested in people having access to the Nigerian market, especially because of the AFCFTA. The AFCFTA is a very viable opportunity for Africa to come out of poverty. That means we have to do business with ourselves. So in doing business with ourselves, the implication of that is that we'll be able to at least reasonably ensure that we benefit from ourselves and enjoy the benefit of being the fact that we're on African continent. So I'll continue from where I stopped. In the morning, I was discussing NAFDAC. Yesterday, I talked about NAFDAC, but I spoke about food importation under NAFDAC. Yesterday, I spoke about how to get permit for importation of food under NAFDAC. And I did that in the morning and in the evening. Today I'm talking about importation of drugs. And for those that are listening to me yesterday, you agree with me that importation of drugs is not something that importation of drug is one thing that is a bit complicated. I won't say it's complicated, but at least there are additional requirements than if you are not importing drugs. So if you listened to me yesterday, you will have heard about 12 documents. And what you found out today is that those 12 documents are still there, but with extra. And the extra is as a result of the peculiarity of drug. I'm having some distraction. So what's interesting about this right now is the fact that at the end of the day, if you are going to do that importation, sorry, let me take this call. Hello? You just called me? Yeah. Please, bring it in 30 minutes. I'm on the phone, yes. Sorry for the distraction. I'm now home. All right, let me continue from where I stopped. Sorry for the distraction. I was talking about the fact that there were about 12 documents we mentioned yesterday. And those 12 documents were basically because of food. And today in the morning, we discussed documentation again. but we add more documents. And I was saying that those extra documents were mainly because it was drug. It was drug. Food, as long as it's safe. Thank you very much, Mr. Vita. You know, it was necessary to have more on drugs. And the reason is this. For drugs, you are taking it for therapeutic effect. That means, food, as long as the thing will not kill, they check it, it has some nutrients, some people will buy, so they will approve it for you. But for drug, it's not just about the drug must have the therapeutic effect. And this now cause for concern, because when people go through all these processes that NAFDAC are put in place, and you see fake drug in Nigeria, that tells you that, I think for me, that will be monitored on the part of NAFDAC, because the people will have gotten all the license, and remember it's for 5 years, when they have the permit for 5 years, so the person now maybe decides to be bringing rubbish afterwards. But of course, with the processes that NAFDAC are put in place, is rigorous enough to ensure quality product is what enters the Nigerian market. Only that, of course, when someone already have an ulterior motives, he will look for we explore all the loopholes to be able to do all his inimical and illegal work. So let's go right into it. Let's get down into it right now as I go to conclude what I started in the morning. In the morning, I was discussing documentation. So what I will do this evening is to go through those documentation again. And then, sorry, let me bring it up. I'm trying to get my slide. Okay. To go through those documentation again and then continue from there. So let me just run through documentation for drugs. Remember, we are discussing the import guideline, NAFDAC import guideline for drug, under the global topic, the what, the why, the how, to import into Nigeria. So as usual, you have to attach a form and pick up the form from the website of NAFDAC. And then you have to also download the declaration form and fill it, just like in food import. Having filled it, then the declaration form must be notarized. You must take it to a notary, probably notarized. It must be notarized. Then you need a power of attorney that states that is also notarized and shows that this relationship is valid for 5 years. So you are representing them for at least 5 years in Nigeria. It was there for at least 5 years in Nigeria. Okay. So state the upper of attorney will state the ownership of the brand, notarize the document, and the life value for 5 years. Then contract of manufacturing agreement. Sometimes you are representing, as an importer, you are representing a manufacturer. Sometimes you're not representing a manufacturer. You're actually the owner of the product and someone is producing for you, contract production. So you have your agreement, signed with the manufacturer, and it's also notarized for you from that country, signed by both parties involved.